Good morning, boys and girls. I'm in my backyard today, here to help you with your IXL homework, here to help you find the surface area of three-dimensional cubes, rectangular prisms. Okay, and so I'm just going to open the IXL link that you guys are going to work on. And let's see here, that's right there. Okay, and also with that assignment, you've got something that looks like that. Okay, so we've got the IXL, and we have that. Okay, and I'm trying to find surface area, and if I blow this up, it tells me that the surface area of a rectangular prism is equal to the perimeter of the base. Okay, you can see that's outlined in blue. I highlighted the perimeter of the base blue, and I outlined the base. It's a rectangle, and then the other congruent shape at the other end has a length and a width highlighted on it, the red and green. Okay, I highlighted the height of the prism. That's the distance from the base to the opposite base. From one base to the opposite base is the height, and then you add the area of the base, right? The area is equal to the length times the width. We find the area by multiplying the length and the width, and then we multiply that by 2 because there are 2 bases on this rectangular prism. Okay, so I can keep that open. I can keep that down in the bottom corner. Then it also says that the alternative method is to find the area of each individual side and add them up. So this problem here I can solve in a couple different ways. I can find the perimeter of the base, okay, and I'm going to take a little snippet of this thing. Okay, we're trying to find how many square yards is the entire surface of this prism. Okay, so once again, this is right here. It says the perimeter of the base. Okay, if I just draw a line around one base right here, okay, then my other base is going to be on this opposite side. Okay, it's like right there. That's my other base rectangle or square. It's actually 1 by 1. So the perimeter P is equal to 4 times S. Okay, and my side is equal to 1, so P is equal to 4 times 1, so the perimeter is equal to 4. Now, this equation told me that I need to multiply that by the height of the prism. Okay, the height of the prism is the connecting line in between my 2 bases, my 2 rectangles, or my 2 squares. So that I'm going to multiply by 1. That 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Okay, and then the next thing that it tells me to do is find the area of the base and multiply that by 2. Okay, so to find area, I do length times width. Okay, my length is equal to 1, and my width, oh, that's not my width, this is my width right here, is equal to 1. So my area is going to be equal to 1 times 1, which equals 1. And then I'm going to multiply that by 2 because I have 2 of these blue bases. I've got one on this side and I've got another one on that side. Okay, so now I have 2, and I'm going to add that. I'm going to add that 2 to the 4 I started with, and I'm going to find that this has 6 square yards. Okay, I'm going to try that out right there. I'm going to put 6 in there, and I'm going to submit. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that problem here for a minute. I'm going to go back to that problem. It also tells me that what I can do is find the area of each individual side and add them up. Okay, and we know the area equals length times width, and we know that the area is equal to 1 yard squared for one side, right? And I know that this cube has 6 sides, so I can multiply that by 6 sides and get 6 yards squared. Okay, so a couple different ways to solve that problem. Now, I'm going to go into that IXL and we're going to find another one. It says, what is the surface area? Okay, this one's a multiple choice question. It asks me, what's the surface area? Okay, so I'm trying to find how many square units. And again, I'm going to start, well, I can do this a couple different ways, right? I can find the area of each side. Right, there's one side. I could call that a base. I could find the perimeter of two bases and then multiply by the height. Right, the height, the connector between those two. And then I could add the area of the base times 2, or what I'm going to do in this case, I know that this right here is 8 inches by 8 inches. And area of a square or rectangle equals length times width, and call that W and call that L. And so we're going to do A equals 8 times 8, and that's 64. And if I take that and I multiply by 6, because I know that this cube has 6 sides, I get 384 inches squared. Okay, 1 inch by 1 inch, there are 384 of them covering that entire cube. So I'm gonna go back here, I'm gonna do 384 and I'm gonna submit, and that works. Okay, I'm gonna jump a couple levels here and see what we get to. Okay, now it gets a little more difficult. It's not a square. Okay, it's not a cube, it's a rectangular prism. So I don't have 6 sides that are all exactly the same. So I can find the area of all my sides, right? I can find this side right here that I outline in blue, and I know that one side of that is 2, and I know the other side of that is 5. Okay, so I have 1, and then another one on the other side over here, right? You have to imagine that right there. Okay, so I have 2 times 5 times 2. Okay, so I have 20 meters squared in A. The 2 rectangles labeled A. Okay, and then on my other sides, let's see, I'll go orange for this one. I've got an orange rectangle here, and then on the opposite side of this cube there's another one just like that. Okay, this one is 2 meters by 6 meters, right? Because this side here and the opposite side, those are congruent, those are equivalent, they're opposite sides of a rectangle. Okay, so then I have 2 times 2 by 6. So I have 2 times 12, which is 24 meters squared. Okay, and so that's equal to the area of B. We'll call that B. There are 2 of those. And then I've got one more here, okay? I've got one more. Let's see, what color? I'm gonna go with this rainbow color here and see what I get. Okay, it's getting a little confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, you can probably see the outline I'm making right here. And I've got 2 more rectangles that are just like that. And that's a 6 by 5. So I have 2 rectangles that are 6 by 5. Okay, so I have 2 rectangles that have an area of 30 meters squared. So I have 60 meters squared is equal to C. Okay, so that would be C right there. And if I add all of those up, I get 104 meters squared. 104 meters squared. Let's see if that's right. 104. It's not about getting all the right answers. It's about using your mistakes as learning experiences. We're going to go one more level and see what happens. This looks the same. You're doing the same thing. And then we're going to go into the challenge zone and see what we get. Okay, this is a little bit different. It says each side of a cube let's see here. Each side of a cube is 8.5 meters long. What is the surface area of the cube? Okay, so this gets a little bit more tricky. It says each side is 8.5 meters long. So I'm gonna do this. So each of these is 8.5. Okay. And let's see here. And then it's a cube, and I'm trying to find the surface area of this cube, right? Let's see here. Let's see what I can do. Alright, so we're getting close. We almost have a cube here. Thanks for being patient with me. All this stuff takes a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to make it look decent for you. Okay, and then let's see here. 90 degrees there. Should give me something like that. Okay, so I've got my rectangular cube. Ooh, go back. Don't into shape. Don't do that. Each side is 8.5. Okay, and what's the surface area of the cube? Well, let's see here. The surface area of one side, if it says each side is 8.5 meters, then it's a square, right? So 8.5 times 8.5. Use your calculator. 8.5 times 8.5 equals 72.25. Now I know that I've got 6 sides that are going to be exactly like that. So I'm going to multiply by 6. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go times 6 equals 433.5. Let's see if we got this right here. 433.5. And that should be it. Alright, and that's what you're doing, boys and girls. If you need some help, I will be in a Zoom room at 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can find me there. I hope you have an amazing day, and reach out if you need me. Thanks.